Spoop boop pee pee farts.
So you don't do training or stretching afterwards, stuff like that? Because you'll be on hill like what, 5-6 days a week?
Yeah. Yes, I should stretch more, definitely.
Now I try to stretch before go to hill in the morning.
I do prefer to stretch after. I like, doing some dynamic warm-ups in the morning is good, like movements rather than just holding a stretch. But yeah, in the evenings, if I have time, I will try to do some stretching. I am doing physio for multiple different injuries at the moment, so that kind of takes priority over stretching at the moment.
Well, I think that's enough. Like,
physio.
what happened?
So I broke my back many years ago, so that's just something I need to do for the rest of my life, is do exercises for that. And then I subluxed my shoulder like a month ago, so I'm doing some
I'm worried about my back as well, because this last month it happened twice. I landed on my butt.
Yeah.
But it was this part of my back and neck are hurting.
So actually, I went to the physio. I've been going to physio for my back, which is pretty much 100% now. Yeah. The rhomboid.
Yeah.
Right there.
Same spot.
Yeah. And then a week after I did that, I did my shoulder. And the rhomboid now is not too bad, but the shoulder still will need a bit more.
Yeah.
But it was during work time, so it was WCB, and I was able to get some dry needling done for the first time and stuff.
Yeah, I've been concerned about this. It's so weird. It happened twice. Laying on the butt. It's supposed to be buzz, like feeling something right now.
Yeah, when I did mine, it was also from not landing on my back. I just twisted weird when I landed, like I did fall.
Yeah.
And I got real twisted, and then it just pulled the muscle.
I mentioned this to Juwan yesterday. Juwan said, like, are you a side sleeper? I was like, yeah. Sorry, that might be a reason. Are you a side sleeper?
Usually yes, but I am actually sleeping more on my back now. But I don't know if that'll make a big difference.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. But I'm just
they were both traumatic injuries, right? They were from a fall, yours and mine. So.
Yeah, but side sleeping is not good anyway. I should know.
Side sleeping's not bad.
Depends on.
Stomach sleeping is generally the one that they're like, probably shouldn't do that.
Wait,
side sleeping's okay.
Yeah.
Back sleeping is getting more comfortable for me.
Yeah, we'll show you do that. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Community Chairlift. Today it's Naomi. And the reason I haven't heard it was because I'm curious about parkour shit. We talk about parkour shit today. How shitty was it today?
How what was it?
How shitty was it?
Pretty bad. Yep. Iciest day of the season so far for sure. Not a great time.
Yeah, how hard is that for you to do maintenance today?
You couldn't really do anything with the snow at all because it was stuck in place. So most of the job today was really just putting up the fences and putting in the hit markers, which sucked because if you're on a slope and you don't have your skis or snowboard on your feet, you're just sliding downhill and
you
couldn't punch through the snow at all. So just
my first lap today, just skate out because I went to this. Do you know cleavage? Anyway, it's like I was so tempted going there if it's early in the morning because after we got there, it's a double blame. Like most of the people going there, there's like a lot of untouched snow.
Yeah.
First lap, oh wow, cleavage is open. I'm gonna go there. And
untouched
of course,
ice. Woo.
Of course, it's icy. The first part is on the ridge. It's always like that. And after it cut through into the gully, I'm ready for it. Untouched ice.
Yeah.
Untouched ice everywhere. But I did have a little fun trying to figure out where's the fresh powder. You can still see it different, but...
So sunshine got a bit last night because
just a little bit.
It didn't start at lake until after we started working.
I just forced myself having fun on the lap because it's just like ice everywhere. I tried to find myself like, oh, it's fun to try to find the snow and actually feeling, oh, I'm actually on the snow, not on the ice.
Oh, good on you.
This is from the ice yesterday. It was so icy yesterday.
Oh no!
It was because spring condition yesterday. I only have my hoodie on.
Got slush burn.
Yeah. Just like scratching my arm like through the icy surface.
Yeah, yesterday was like 15 degrees with the sun on the hill.
Just icy, so icy.
Yeah.
So when you make a lip today, you just like couldn't cut it in?
No lips were made today.
Everything's bigger, harder for them, eh?
I mean, the cat will shape the lips at night and we come and fine tune it. But yeah, you couldn't really do much with it this morning. We could get rid of any kind of death cookies that were hanging around, but
What's death cookie?
like a big ball of frozen snow.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That-
true. Yeah,
that
okay.
the cat will often leave behind
Yeah.
as they groom. But yeah, you couldn't really make the shape any better than it was. What it was what it was. Yeah, and then because when it gets so slushy the day before, like yesterday was just mashed potato.
It was.
And then when it freezes, you just can't do anything with it. And the groom comes out pretty bad sometimes when it's that wet, because you think of a snow cat, how many tons that is on top of mushy snow, is just going to make a mess. So the poor groomers don't have a very fun time in spring, but they do sometimes leave a mess, and they can't do anything about that. It's not their fault. So then we deal with the aftermath in the morning.
Yeah. So what's it going to be like tomorrow? Like, you
I
don't
think
know.
tomorrow
Seems
will be
different.
better because it didn't
Looks
slush up
different.
today. So once they groom it a second time, I think it'll be better. And tomorrow isn't looking super warm, but I think it's meant to be a little warmer.
Yeah, the icy conditions makes me not feeling doing anything today.
It's amazing how there are two things that make the hugest difference to your feeling on a snowboard. One is the snow conditions, how soft or icy it is, and the other is the light, if it's flat light or if it's good lighting. It just changes your confidence so much.
Yeah.
It's like a different sport.
I was thinking maybe it's because it's a gloomy day as well. My body just didn't wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just not feeling anything today. Even not feeling getting big air today. Like all the jump today, just a little one. I just don't
I
feel
hit
insane.
0 jumps today. I did not want to be in the air and having to land on that
Even
stuff.
you not feeling hitting jump
Nah,
today.
dude, I take it pretty conservatively when conditions are scary.
And I actually enjoy a little bit. Sometimes just like humble myself, like draw back a little, not doing too much. For some reason, I started watching my video like 2 years, 3 years ago, and realized I didn't really improve that much. And then this whole day, like related to snowboarding, I'm just feel like not good.
Well,
Not
dude,
good.
I've come to the realization that as I get older, I'm not trying to improve and learn new tricks. I'm just
What?
trying to hold on to what I have. I'm an old dog. I mean, sure, I
I
can learn a
am.
few new tricks, but I'm not striving to learn new stuff. But I'm skiing a lot now, so that's like my new thing that I'm trying
Alright,
to
okay.
improve on rather than, stacking tricks.
I still want to stack in on my arsenal. Like for instance,
Well, good on ya.
I'm working on 5.
Yeah,
So, and I told you yesterday, working on getting bigger air.
yeah. Yeah, well,
Well, I mean,
Good on ya.
I think that's the only bright side I saw from the previous video. I'm more confident in bigger air.
and I guess also you can work on not necessarily bigger tricks, but just looking more stylish doing the tricks you have.
Yeah.
Ain't
But,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, even just riding. I also want to having more diversity in my riding,
Right.
more freedom. Like I can see whatever kickers and then I could doing any tricks I want to do in any lips. I know like some lips are like hillside lips and toe-side lips, but I still really want to become, even if it's a toe-side lips, I can still try to do a front-side tricks, stuff like that.
Yeah. Be able to spin hard way.
Just more stylish and I'm just not there yet.
Oh, well, I'm impressed with how many days you get on the hill, and things will pay off with the amount of
Yeah.
mileage you do.
Thanks for your tip. How long have you been riding?
Ooh, quite a while. Yeah, I started skiing when I was like 6, and then when I was 13, I tried snowboarding, and after half a day on a snowboard, I was hooked. And I was like, man, this is so sick. I'm never going back on skis. So yeah, since I was 13, so that's, what's that, like 18 years? Do the math.
Almost like forever.
Yeah. quite a
So
while.
cool.
Of course, I am back on skis now, and there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, I think that's why you have this mentality. You say to yourself all the time, yeah, backcountry sounds pretty
Yeah.
retirement-ish activities.
That's right. I have always thought I'll get into backcountry stuff when I'm old and can't ride park anymore. But yeah, I've come to the conclusion that I'll probably always be into the park, so I should probably just get into backcountry at the same time.
The work as a parkour, does it make you feel like more this, I'm still young-ish mentality?
Yeah, definitely, especially because I work with a bunch of guys in their early 20s.
It's hard to feel like you're old if you work as a parkour, I guess.
It keeps you young. It's good.
How many of you are in parkour in the lake?
We have like 9 of us.
And you take care of all the parts in the lake. Is it a lot of work to you, or?
Some days it is, some days it isn't. Depends what projects we have going on, depends on the snow conditions.
Projects, like what do you mean by project?
Just like if we're changing up the features, or if we're fabricating new features or doing maintenance to things. And then of course in spring, it's always more work when it is slushy. It takes a lot more manpower.
And more events, like more collaboration, like more events going on.
Like Louise doesn't have so many events, to be honest. It's
not like Sunshine.
It's not like Sunshine, yeah. And our events are actually usually like early and mid-season rather than late season.
So is it look so different year to year? Or is like every single year is like most likely the same project? Like the parts will look almost like the same?
Yeah, I've been here 4 winters now, not working at Lake every season, but at least riding there, and it has been pretty similar every season. Yeah, there haven't been any huge changes.
Sunshine is like year to year still pretty similar, but I do appreciate Sunshine. Like the same part, they will change the feature, at least 1 or 2 features every 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and also because of all the events they do, it means they do full park rebuilds fairly often because of all these events, which that's also quite cool.
Yeah, that's pretty. I really appreciate that part, but I realized something. If they move the same features, same size, same features, same approach into a different park, it looks totally different, and I'll start scared of hitting that again.
Right, even though it's the same feature.
Why is that?
Yeah.
It's just at a different spot. It's exactly the same. Even just, well, if it's right on, like, it's still the same, but if like, if you have to take air, get on the rail.
It's a big mental game, eh? It's the same with, sometimes every day, the first time I'll hit a larger feature, I'll be nervous beforehand, and it's like, I've hit this every day for the last month. Why am I feeling nervous?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
You wonder why, yeah. But pros and cons, I guess, I keep changing the features in Sunshine, but it's pretty fun. Have you ever come out with an idea and then you guys literally just build it up? Like, is it one, I asked you this before, right? Is just one supervisor or manager like design all the graphic? Or you guys can go come out the idea and build a parkour
it's a crew thing. And I've worked in quite a few park crews around the world. And usually it is a group collaboration thing.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. And the groomer also has to have input because they are the ones who will literally be building it, and then they're the ones who have to groom it every night, and if it's not going to work for them in the cat, then that's not a good thing. So they do need to have input as well. So yeah, usually the crew, or at least a select few from the crew, will sit down with the groomer and discuss
daily
ideas.
meeting. You guys do that, eh?
Not daily necessarily, but whenever we're planning a different change up. But the supervisor will always, like pretty much most days, the supervisor will chat with the groomers.
Yeah. So do you have ever comes out of the idea that you really want to build it and it actually happened?
In the past, yeah.
What was the coolest one?
In my very first season of Park Crew, we made this fun kind of a hover tube thing that was on and up. So it was like this tubby cannon on and up, and then a lollipop afterwards that you'd bonk. This was my first time ever, building a park, and we're like, yeah, let's do this. And it turned out pretty cool, but then I did slip off the cannon part early one time and just smacked my thigh into the lollipop and ended up with a huge hematoma on my thigh.
So you're saying it's an up rail, it's a lollipop on the
Yeah,
top.
a lollipop with like
and
a
then
ball
you
on
can,
top.
okay.
Yeah, and air over it.
And over it where you like do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's actually really awesome. I've never seen anything like that. I think most of the thing I only see a volcano and just a feature on the top. I couldn't hit that. Like, I'm so afraid of hopping over it.
Those are intimidating because if you do kind of bash into the lollipop, then you know you're gonna like
I can
flip over it.
Picture myself attach on the feature. Let's say a lollipop, attach it and try to wind out. Just like, let's say this is a lollipop, I can hit this side and just get off it, but not hop over it. I just don't have the guts.
There's a nice one at Lake at the moment that does actually ride pretty well now to go up and over.
Yeah.
Or you can stall on it as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Where was it?
It is down next to the third medium jump.
True. So now, no, the lollipop one is now happening in Lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but what I just described.
Yeah, the one they say you just yeah.
No, that was a long time ago.
So you say you worked on a lake before, and then it's like different countries before, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started working park crew in Austria. I did 3 winters there.
Sick.
Then I did 1 in Sweden. Then I did a couple in New Zealand. And then I've done 3 in Canada. So I've been in the game for a little while now.
Yeah. Is there any preference? Is super different or park crew all over the world?
Yeah, each continent has had their differences for sure. Austria was the most different.
I love that.
New Zealand and Canada are fairly similar in how we approach things.
But what's different with European park?
Well, in Europe, a lot of the terrain parks aren't kind of run by the ski resort. So we weren't employees of the ski resort. We were contracted to the resort to build their park. And we didn't work full days. We just kind of went in the morning to open the park. And then we'd have the day off. And then we'd come back in the evening and we'd do a full reshape. We'd start at 4 p.m. or whenever the lift's closed. And we'd rake every feature. And we'd be there till like 7 p.m. It would be dark.
But here, like you have to do maintenance like 1 o'clock-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we just work throughout the day. We keep kind of going through the parks, checking that everything's okay, and being there in case people are injured and stuff. In Europe, well, at least in Austria, it was definitely more loose. They don't dot the I's and cross the T's as much as they do here in Canada, that's for sure. But it was a good time. It was a lot of fun over there.
Yeah, I heard good things about Austria. Like, I was talking to my friend Troy, like he really wanted to do a season in Austria with his friend Billy because they heard good thing about Austria.
It's a great country, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty intrigued. I'm like, they doing that? They're saying like winter 26, 27? No, 27, 28. If that happened,
it's a beautiful country. There's so much terrain out there. There's just ski resorts everywhere. And it's a fun time over there.
Yeah. After you guys build it up, all right, that's how you finish the sleep. Do you do a trial run? Yeah,
so in the mornings, we'll go through the park. We'll shape everything up to fine tune it after the cat does it. And then we'll head back to the top and we'll get one person to test each jump line at least. The jibs, the rails are easier to visually check that they're safe. The jumps, we want them all tested before we open. So one person will hit each line and just check that they feel okay before we open.
Is it happens a lot? Like, you figure it's not, and you have to rebuild it again. Or
occasionally you'll ride through the jumps in the morning, be like, oh, that lip on that one jump had a bit of extra tang, and that didn't feel great. So we'll go back and re-rake that. But usually you get pretty good at visually being able to see if things aren't good, or with your rake, you can feel any little kind of bits where the lip has a wee bump in it or something. You'll feel that with your rake, so you'll know to get rid of it.
All right, so.
But then in mornings like today, when it's pure ice and you cannot rake that out, if things are really bad, we'll just leave it closed.
True, so you just shot it, yeah. All right. So how many features, like most of the features are closed today? LA?
No, it was just the XL jumps were closed today. Everything else is open.
Yeah. All right, as a park crew, what's your take about Lip Ripper? Fun fact, I didn't know this is a thing until this season.
Really?
I didn't know that. I used to be a lip ripper, like not a lot,
Classic.
but sometimes. But
So, if you get annoyed with people lip ripping, you're just going to be annoyed all day, every day. So you just have to kind of accept it. I don't have too much of a problem with it if people are doing it and they're actually catching air off of lips. If the kids are going really slow and they're just scraping down the back of the lip, that's when I have a problem, because that's when they destroy the back of the takeoff, and that is a pain. Or it is a pain if people are doing it and it's super slushy and they're leaving these big grooves off the side of the takeoff, and it kind of messes you up if you're actually trying to use the takeoff properly. And if they're doing it unsafely, say they, lip rip and they fall and they just lie there next to the feature, and which is, very common. Or when the worst is when kids come and do it when we're actually raking the feature. We put our skis and our snowboards in front of the rail or whatever, and little kids don't have a clue and they'll still do it, and that's when it's annoying, because that's unsafe, because they could come and hit
never
us.
saw it before, bro, but yeah, a little kid might do that. So that's how you see lip ripper, and then that lip's really F. Like, you have to go there and fix it right away, or you just like do it at a scheduled time.
Oh no, no. If we had to go and fix it after every time someone lip ripped, we'd be there all day raking every 5 minutes or 2 minutes after someone does that.
I think more skier lip ripper than snowboard lip ripper, right? Am I wrong?
I think you're right, because more kids are on skis, and kids are the ones who, majority of the time, are lip ripping. Yeah, I don't hate them.
No, me neither. But
otherwise you're gonna just
when I learned,
not have a good time.
Yeah, when I found out that was a thing, I started like being aware. That's a lot of lip ripper around.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, what gets me is when mum or dad, usually dad, is there with the kids and he's like encouraging them to do it. That's what annoys me. If the kids are doing it themselves, it's like, oh well, they're
having fun.
Kids are kids. But dad shouldn't be encouraging that.
All right, but why not make a wider lip and having a lip ripper area?
Having a lip ripper area? No, because we don't want kids to be encouraging that, because that's not what this rail feature is designed for, right? And if kids are coming
so if you want to do it, just do a jump.
Exactly. That's what the jumps are for.
Yeah, I forgot that was a jump.
And then, wider lips mean more maintenance for the cat and for us. And the cat, you think about the size of a cat, it needs a lot of space to get between features. And if takeoffs are really wide, there actually isn't enough room for the cat to drive between them.
Yeah.
Restricted.
It makes sense, but I'm just saying, like, it's just stupid to me. Like, why not, if there's a lot of lip rippers, just not making more lips for them to rip around?
More jumps. I'm always down for more jumps.
I forgot
am
that.
A jumps
Yeah,
girl,
just make jumps.
Jumps galore, yes please.
Yeah.
What's this rail doing in the way of this nice jump?
Yeah, we're talking, like, you asked me if do I like rail better or big air, like air better. I like air better.
Yeah,
like,
I find as I get older, the less and less I like rails, and I just want to be in the air.
What's wrong with rails?
I just find I'm more and more scared of doing tricks on rails. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a lot more solid and comfortable in the air than doing tricks on rails.
Yeah. Sure.
It's always been my thing, but yeah, I'm finding more and more I'd rather just hit jumps.
I'm scared of rail because I'm rehearsed. The crash will hurt more than landing on the snow.
Yeah.
Because rail just looks hard.
But then a lot of rail riders will say the opposite and say if you're on jumps, you're falling from higher and you're usually going faster. So that's valid as well. But I think most of my injuries, maybe not, but I feel like I've been injured more from rails than from jumps. That might not actually be true.
Yeah, I never injured from air. I minor injury from, I tried to do a 1 out on the rail and I didn't land it. I think I landed on my nose or tail either way. And I just feel like the tension there on my shoulders. Like, please don't pop. I wasn't it, but yeah.
Did you snowboard in New Zealand?
No, I didn't. I visited New Zealand once, but
yeah, because I saw your profile picture.
Alright.
And I was like,
Oh,
that's
true,
on
that was
Fox
it.
Glacier.
Yeah, that's Fox this year. Like I was with their vest, right? So yeah, this was just a 2 weeks vacay.
Cool.
So I went to visit my friend. They're all doing a season in Australia. They want to do a trip in New Zealand, so I flew to New Zealand with them. I didn't know snowboarding yet.
Did you learn to snowboard in Canada?
Here in Banff. I moved here in Banff without knowing
Anything about
snowboarding.
snowboarding? Yeah.
No, and I moved here and I started snowboarding, and I was thinking having a gap year here, and then I don't want to leave.
And then it turned
Snowboard is
into
fun.
multiple years. Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. I didn't know snowboarding was a thing. Moving to a ski town without knowing people
Yeah.
snowboarding here.
Well, it surprises me how many people live in the mountains in Canada and are not interested in skiing or snowboarding or skating or any winter sports, but they're still here, which is cool. They still appreciate the place for other reasons, which is very valid.
Totally. Are you thinking working for different resort next season, or you still want to work for Lake?
Nah, like Banff is my Canada home now.
But here's like three resort.
Yeah, but I gotta
What's special
say,
about Lake?
I do prefer Lakes Park because, as I said, I'm into jumps and they have my favorite jumps. So, yeah, and
Oh, true. Yo, those are big ones. Yeah, they do have more jumps in.
I am an absolute wuss. I don't do well in the cold, and sunshine is so cold up there in the Alpine. Like working in a park in the Alpine without the trees around to protect you from the wind and stuff. Oh, I would just freeze.
So that's the worst part working as a park crew. Conditions, coldness.
Yeah, like in New Zealand, I don't struggle with the cold because it doesn't get that
It's
cold
cold.
there. This season's been very warm, so I haven't struggled with it much at all. But my first season here, oh boy, I found it really difficult, which is actually why I wasn't
21, 22?
22, 23,
What was it? Oh,
which is why I didn't do the next 2 winters working park crew here. And then this was a perfect season to do it again because it was so warm.
it is. It's a lot of snow as well.
Too warm.
Well, it's not too bad. I mean,
Well, with that rain the other week.
yeah,
That was
but
too warm.
like this winter has been best winter for years.
Yeah.
Well, and
Indeed.
probably right in sunshine, so I don't feel that warm. Like it's still
Yeah.
beneath -5 most of
Yeah.
the day.
I did do a season at Revy and I worked park crew there, and Revy's terrain is so much fun. The park, isn't the best, but man, what a fun resort to ride at.
No lie, haven't been to Ravi.
You haven't? Oh,
Crazy, yeah.
definitely try
I
making
know.
it there
I'm really
sometime.
keen to any ski trip soon, but yeah, so down.
Yeah. Their lower mountain is really fun. I mean, the bottom of the mountain's at only like 600 meters, so it's pretty low. So often the snow isn't good down there, but when the snow is good, it's so fun the whole way down because we've got all these bike trails you can ride on, and it's just awesome. The trees there are so good. That's what I miss here in the national park is good tree runs because they can't do the glading because of the national park rules. The trees aren't so good here. We don't have trees on our ski resorts in New Zealand at all. They're fully in the Alpine.
I mean, I do really love trees. I mean, I start snowboarding here in Sunshine, so I thought tree run is a normal thing.
Yeah, not normal if you come from New Zealand. It is
Yeah.
something that we're lacking. It would be really nice to have
I
trees.
mean, and then the first time I ride in outside Canada was in Idaho. There are trees around everywhere. So I went to this place called Brownish Mountain
Okay.
in Macau. Trees run is a thing. But this year went to Finland, 0 tree run. Like
Yeah. Oh, really?
it's
Okay,
groomed
wait.
everywhere. For some, well, they're not really big mountain,
I know that. Yeah. So when I was
but they
in,
shot all the tree like Norquay. Like most of the trees run, they block it.
oh, I see. That's a shame.
It's like that.
That's a real shame. Yeah. When I was in Sweden, also same thing. They don't have high mountains. The top of the hill I was working on was like 800 meters, but it did have some fun trees. They weren't long runs, but they were decent trees.
Yeah. And trees is the best best place to find powder.
Totally.
that's what
You
it's
can
about,
have these secret hidden spots that a week after it snows, you've still got.
Not today though.
fresh.
Like today after that first lap, like nah. I don't even bother to find any pal. There's no pal. There's no such a thing called pal today.
No.
Yeah, today was one of those days. I feel like doing nothing.
Yeah. Today was a good day to stay at home and stretch.
True, but I'm still glad I went out. I mean, try some new features I realize I'm really scared of.
Well, maybe you'll go back in 2 days' time when it's nice and soft again, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm not scared of this anymore."
It's always like
because
that.
the conditions are so different.
I know. Like even some conditions, sometimes just I wake up differently every day.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to do with like how much you've eaten the day before or something that gives you more energy. I don't know what it is, but some days you just feel it and some days you don't.
I realized I would never know until actually hitting it. I would sometimes woke up feeling full energetic, full of rest. I'm so pumped, ready to go right. I want to do this. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Got help. Just couldn't do nothing. Doesn't work. Sometimes I would wake up really drowning. I was like, oh, I'm lazy today. I'm just going to chill today. And then after I got to the park, you can hit everything perfectly.
Those days are the best. You know what I've found is the days that you have low expectations, you're like, oh, weather's not that great. I'm just going to go and see what happens. Those are often the days that you have the most fun. And vice versa. If you're like, today's going to be so good, and then you're disappointed if it's not amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that happened 2 weeks ago. I was nothing, and bumped into my friend Fing. And we end up like a lot of park laps. And went to this park. Like they still have the Dawson Village features.
Oh, that's set up still in, yeah.
So I was hitting those features 2 days ago. That day I riding with Fing.
Yeah.
They're huge. I can barely hit anything. That day with me, I have so much fun. I unlocked so many new movements.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I hit so many different features. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes you just had to hit it.
Yeah.
Do you like ride on better or with how do you call it with lip and then just like
street style?
That's called street style. Mm-hmm. You like street style better or ride on?
Yeah, usually.
I like street style better. Like ride on sometimes looks even scarier to me sometimes. I don't know why.
Kind of depends on the feature. Some features are better if they're accessible ride on, but often I find if you're doing a trick onto a ride on rail, it's easier to slip off the side. If it's street style, you're more likely to get locked into it. Mm. Yeah, if it's ride on, often you'll just like accidentally jump over it or too far over it and then you'll slip off.
This couple of days I realized I'm so used to lock attached on the rail now. Now after hating boxes, I slip off more often after I get used to rail.
Because you're used to jumping on from the side. Yeah,
so annoying.
You're used to putting your body movement different, your momentum.
You like box better or rails?
Oh, rails, definitely.
And how do you ride if it's come with a rails? It's like tube.
Rounded
or
rather than flat.
Or the flat rail.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of flat rails.
Looks intimidating, right?
They're a little less friendly, harder to lock into.
Yeah, because it's just angled there.
Yeah, on a round feature you can kind of catch the side of it, which will help you stay on it instead of just being on the flat surface and then your momentum dragging you off the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do 5?
I can back 5 and very occasionally cab 5.
Any tips?
Keep looking around. It's all about, most parts of snowboarding, whether you're doing tricks or whether you're even just learning how to turn, is all about what your eyes are doing, where you're looking. Yeah. Makes the biggest difference.
So after that's a rotate.
Are you goofy or regular?
I'm goofy. So after I'm back to here.
Yeah.
I should look in here, right?
Yeah. So for a 5, you want to end looking back uphill, like at the point that you landed.
So 3. Now I'm thinking after here, I should look here.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I have it. And then look here, and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I find that the blue lines painted on the landings.
Oh, yeah?
That's where I find that helpful to look down and just kind of try and keep my eye on that line as I'm spinning. Yeah,
Is that for The blue line?
Yeah, that's so that people, when they're in the air, they can gauge where they are. Because you know that you don't want to land above the blue line or you're landing on the flat, and you don't want to land too far down below the blue line or you've gone really, really big.
I thought the blue line is only for people to tell the curve of the landing.
It's kind of just as a visual gauge for anything. If people are like, right, I know that there's two blue lines, I want to land somewhere in between the two lines.
Oh,
and
that
then
makes sense now.
it also helps when you're spinning, you can kind of lock your eye onto a blue line.
Something.
Just as a gauge of where you are in the air, how far through your spin you are.
Yeah, that's a scary part of doing over 3. Like you have to. And also like for getting bigger air.
Yeah.
When you stand in big air, are you spending a little time looking for it, or you straight up like try to spot your landing?
No, I'm usually looking down, spotting my landing.
Once you're in the air and you start like spotting the landing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it'll be fun to send into the air and just start spot landing a little later.
Yeah, if you want to do like
Might be sketchy.
a late 3 or a late 5, like delayed. Can look pretty cool.
Is this a part of your job as well? That doing those painting?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like a random
We have
paint? Or is it special material?
yeah, it's dye.
Okay.
It's a water soluble dye. And yeah, just mix it with water and chuck it in a bottle, a spray bottle.
How often you have to repaint it usually?
We just do it in the mornings, every morning.
Oh, so it's a daily thing, eh?
Yeah.
Jeez, it's more work than I thought. So, what time you started?
We start at 8. And so, yeah, as well as the raking, we put in all the hit markers, put up all the fences, all the signs, do the blue dye. So yeah, most like the biggest chunk of our work is in the morning, just getting the parks open.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they usually take like 1 hour if you say at 8.
No, it's usually like more like 2.
Yeah. I mean, just for setting it up, like open the park?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Including doing maintenance, like?
Yeah, and that's with a crew of, say, 5 people. And that's throughout the 5 parks.
Do you work with your ski or your board more?
More with my board, but like today I went on my skis, for the afternoon I got on skis because of the ice. I'd rather be on 2 edges than 1. Yeah. There are certain things that are better working park crew on skis and certain things that are better working on a snowboard.
Yeah.
Like walking around on takeoffs in ski boots, you tend to punch holes easier. But then for like the closing lap where we're just pulling all of the hit markers and the signs, that's better on skis because you can just keep the skis on and you can traverse between features a lot easier than on a board.
That makes sense now. Yeah, so if that's say like the maintenance and midday, probably board will be easier.
Yeah, if you're going to be walking around a lot, it's better to be in snowboard boots for sure.
When I asked you, I thought it's going to be, really depends on if you want to ride on ski or snowboard, that's it.
For me, usually yes. If it's good snow for riding park and yeah, if it's a good park day, I'm going to be on a board. But if it's icy or if it's flat, light and windy and cold, I'd rather be on skis.
Do you do tricks a lot on ski in the park?
No.
Not at all?
I can do like the basic boxes and jumps, the small ones. And
can you slide it? Like
sideways? No.
No sideways yet. It looks hard.
People are like trying to convince me to really learn park on skis. Maybe if I was a bit younger, I would. But I'm like, I am not willing to injure myself skiing and not be able to snowboard. Like doing something stupid in the park, I'd be really gutted if I got injured and then couldn't snowboard. Whereas if I get injured snowboarding, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
So you're saying you love snowboarding than skiing? Is this the reason?
Yeah, like snowboarding in the park is my priority. So I'm willing to get injured doing that, but I'm not willing to get injured.
I agree with you.
Doing other stuff.
So this rupture, right? Achilles rupture, I'm willing to taking the risk, still like trying new tricks on snowboarding instead of give it a try. Try
give
skiing.
It time to.
I do have ski. Ski boot, but
you do?
I give my excuse like, Ray, you're injured. Take it easy. Don't do anything you don't know.
Fair enough.
But I'm trying to send him 5 now, like with this. So I think it's the same thing.
The same reason why I didn't get into skating, because I was like, man, skating, I'm gonna bust my ankle or break a wrist or something. Like, how can you not get injured skateboarding? And I was like, I'm not willing to do that and mess up my snowboarding.
But we don't think that when we snowboard, because snowboard is the same thing. A lot of people saying, how is it possible
take that
to
risk?
how do you want to take risks and thinking you won't get injured? But I don't think we're thinking about injured a lot when snowboarding, eh?
Well, as time goes on, I do think about it quite a bit and as I've gotten lots of injuries over the years, but it's a risk that I'm still willing to take. And
also way less than when you're skiing and skateboarding, I guess. You're thinking about, I might get injured.
Yeah,
but when I'm snowboarding, I'm not, sometimes like, yeah, I got scared because I think I might get injured, but I've been more focused on how do I do this, and this instead of...
Well, and we're more confident in our snowboarding skills, right? Rather than our skiing skills. Or for me, my skating skills are very low, so I'm more likely to get injured potentially.
You
skate a lot in the summer?
No, I used to skate when I was 18.
Yeah.
But I realized I wasn't really good at it. I would say I got a little bit overwhelmed by skating. I started because all my friends doing it. I think it looks cool, and I want to give it a try. So I started skating, and that year I realized skating. I skate everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's my commute. Like I commute everywhere with my skateboard. I can barely do ollie. I can barely do any tricks, but I just love skating. But I do remember, me and a friend attend to this events, like all the skateboarding shop. They have events are going on.
Yeah.
I went to the events. I started really getting overwhelmed looking at all the cool skaters, and I'm super overwhelmed. Like I don't really want to take time and risk to doing that because I see what they're doing and how they fall, and it was like, nah, it's too much work.
Skating does look so fun. I'd love to be able to just do it and not have to do the learning process to get there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But for some reason, snowboarding, I'm willing to give it all my time to actually be in the failure.
Have you ever tried wakeboarding?
No.
So in Europe, wakeboarding is quite popular. They've got cables everywhere, so you don't need a boat. You just get towed by this cable that loops around overhead. Sick. And they have parks, so they have rails, they have kickers.
Park wakeboarding, it looks so fun.
It's really fun. And so I got into it there because it was so accessible. In New Zealand, we don't really have cables, so you have to know someone with a boat. I guess same here in Canada, and it's really bloody cold. So not so big here too. But it's the most similar thing to snowboarding because you're strapped in, relatively, compared to skating where your feet aren't locked in. It felt very similar to snowboarding and it was so much fun. And straight away, I was able to hit kickers and stuff because those skills were so transferable from snowboarding.
That reminds me of something. I think it reminds me I'm actually a coward. Like, I think that's one of the reasons I lost snowboarding because we're riding on snow. Lower consequences when we actually fall down. We fall on the snow, especially the good condition.
Yeah.
Instead of on the concrete, when I was 18 years old, seeing all of this crazy skater just don't get an F. Just look at all their scratches and how they land on the concrete. I just not buy into it. I used to surf.
Okay.
I think that's why I love it because I'm falling in the water.
Right.
I can fully commit it with really, really low consequences.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like surfing.
The ocean can be pretty gnarly, though.
I know, but like, as long as I look around, I'm in a safe environment, and then I hit it, it's lower consequences than that's it, just for falling part.
Wakeboarding's a little different with that falling in water aspect because you're going faster, and the water isn't necessarily broken like it is when you're surfing. So I never experienced it because wasn't doing anything crazy, but a lot of wakeboarders say that they fall extremely hard sometimes. And when they smack that water, it's like falling on concrete.
I love to do cliff jumping back in Taiwan, so I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I land on my... on my chest, on my belly, on my butt a lot.
Yes.
I like
Get your asshole ripped open.
I like to backflip it. So sometimes I just over rotate it or
Yeah, if you don't land bolts
Well,
like
honestly-
directly down, not a good time.
and that's why Wildcats is one of my dream trick in snowboarding. I really want I just backflip everything when I jump in the water. I really want to have this sensational feeling
Yeah.
on snowboarding. No, I always land on my back.
Yeah.
It's just same feeling. Ah. I can only do one power today, but I couldn't do Wildcat at all.
Yeah, I don't like putting my head beneath my feet. I like to stay upright, I have decided.
Like God designed us like that way, so to keep it that way. There's a reason the head is like
Yeah, I know that if I got on a trampoline, I would, it would open up my world of tricks to be able to get upside down and stuff, just to get that air awareness upside down. But yeah,
Why you didn't?
because I just
Didn't have.
I mean, I can't say that I didn't have the opportunity. Like where I lived in New Zealand for many years has a trampoline park. Pretty expensive to go there though. And it was something that I was like, in reality, am I willing to go upside down enough to make this worthwhile? I was like, no, I'm quite happily spinning this way and not this way.
If there's an accessible trampoline, I'll definitely give it a try. But as you say, sometimes like for us in Banff, it's like too far away. I think the closest one where is going to be part of Calgary. I don't think there's any in Canmore neither.
I don't know. Yeah, there's none in.
If there's one, I'll definitely know
Canmore,
it. And also, it's like depends how much it's costing.
You know what's funny is I'm more scared in the air above a soft trampoline. That's soft in quotation marks because they're not necessarily that soft. But more scared in the air above trampoline than I am above hard, icy snow. I'd rather be in the air above snow. Being on trampolines scare me. Because I think because you're going up and down in the same place, so all of your momentum's going down. So if you were to land upside down or something, that's all your body weight getting crushed. Whereas on snow, you're landing on an angle and on a slippery surface. And so that takes a lot of the momentum out of your fall.
I haven't been on trampoline for a while. Last time when I was still a kid, like whenever indoor cake park.
Yeah.
So I haven't been on trampoline for a while. Right episode, I asked this question: who's your favorite character?
My favorite character. If you had told me that question before, I could have thought about it.
Everyone say that, but I did it on purpose.
Does it have to be a fictional character?
No, could be anyone.
Well, Jesus then.
Here we go. Here we go. I mean,
So, yeah, I don't know if the definition of character is fictional or non-fictional.
Jesus. I know it's a stupid question, but may I ask why?
Oh, I didn't know you had a Jesus tattoo on your arm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Well, because if it weren't for him, we'd be screwed.
Big time. We're so screwed.
Well, no.
But
not
because of him, we're all right.
Yeah. That's right. Who's your favorite character?
Neo.
From The Matrix?
So basically the same idea. The one.
You know, I have seen The Matrix. I watched it on the plane once, because that's about the only time I actually watch movies. And I didn't really have a clue what was going on.
Oh, of course. Like, we were a kid, but when I was a kid, I actually liked part 2 better than part 1. Part 2
I
is
haven't seen that.
Part 2 is really good actions, but it's really nothing about
Not a
Christianity
great
no
story.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more like something between part 1 and part 3. That's it. Because part 1 and part 3 are both like talk about Messiah, like the one concept idea of that.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Part 2 is too much about Neo and Trinity
Okay.
and the like action.
I will take your word for it.
But still, like Matrix is still one of my favorite movies. So cool.
Okay. Yeah, maybe one day I'll rewatch it and understand it better, but yeah, I did not get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies like that. Recently I watched Dune Part 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't watched any of
I
those.
mean, that's talking a story about Messiah again. So
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I had no idea.
So pretty intriguing.
I like Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. That's about the Messiah.
Yeah, very true. All right. You want to share anything before wrapping this up?
No.
No, it is. Yeah. I was expecting to say no. All right. Perfect. 54 minutes. See? You can do better. Like you say 20 minutes max.
I gave you 54 minutes.